What is DeFi? Some people refer to it as a movement, others call it a new financial paradigm or a new digital economy. In short, DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance. This new model is creating financial instruments in a decentralized architecture outside the control of centralized entities. Today, DeFi is often used in the context of decentralized applications built on Ethereum called dApps. dApps typically consist of smart contracts, digital assets, and multiple protocols. A simple way to conceptualize DeFi is to think of it as financial software built on top of a blockchain. Why should we care? Why should we pay more attention? To do anything in traditional finance, we are required to trust third parties. The intermediation needed to ensure good behavior has made finance more bureaucratic and costly. Despite efforts to dissolve risks, third parties continue to be a requisite for financial transactions. DeFi aims to solve this issue by disintermediating third parties with lines of code. By enforcing agreements with smart contracts and automating them, financial transactions will be optimized for efficiency and cost. But more importantly, it will foster a trustless financial ecosystem, and in theory, it'll be immune to probing by regulatory authorities, consequently making it censorship resistant. This will enable anybody with a phone or computer to access these DeFi apps regardless of their geography and socioeconomic background. To simply put it, everybody will have unrestricted access. By liberalizing finance, DeFi apps have a good shot at leveling the playing field for everyone. Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well today. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. It's good to have you guys here. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. This video is intended for newbies, people who are new to the DeFi space. It's intended to be a general overview of the space. But even if you know about DeFi already, I still think it's a good idea to watch this video because you'll hear unique and insightful commentary from my end. Also, I'll go over a few wallets that I think could enhance your overall experience as you guys experiment with the DeFi space. And if you stay for nothing else, make sure that you guys watch the last segment of my video. I came up with this really good idea for future videos. I think there's a good chance that everybody watching those future videos will be able to extract a high amount of value by simply watching my tutorials. The other reason I want you guys to watch this video in its entirety is because I genuinely want to know what you guys are interested in. As I talk about projects and wallets, let me know if I'm leaving out any platform that you have a particular interest in. Because after hearing what my plan is for future DeFi videos, I'm sure many of you guys are going to have video recommendations for me, and a good handful of my videos were made based on recommendations that I got from my subscribers. So I encourage you guys to watch the entire video and comment down below. And also, if you're really into DeFi or into the lending space, I routinely publish content regarding various topics in that space. So if you're into lending and if you're into the DeFi space, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, that way you guys are alerted whenever I publish new videos. And I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would click the like button. Not only does that help me with the YouTube algo, but it also acts as a pretty good feedback tool. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this video. So to begin, let's go ahead and go over the advantages of using DeFi. For starters, you have complete custody over your assets. If you use a hardware device, you can easily plug into any one of these dApps. And if you prefer a multi-sig wallet, there's options for that as well. And if you keep watching this video, I'm going to go ahead and cover a couple of these wallets that I've used in the past. In addition to custody, DeFi also democratizes finance by enabling anybody with a mobile phone or computer to access these applications. The World Bank has published data back in 2018 citing that 1.7 billion people didn't have access to a bank. Here in the West, we sort of take it for granted because most of us have always had access to banks. In developing countries, most banks don't go in because they don't make much money in those countries. So a large portion of the world's population is left unbanked. DeFi solves this because all you need is a smartphone and a little bit of crypto to take full advantage of the services offered on these DeFi applications. And by offering a wide variety of financial services, this also enables additional utility to be added to tokens. For example, on the Synthetics platform, the NX token acts as collateral, which enables the issuance of synthetic assets called synths. And I'm confident as the space evolves, we'll see new utility models emerge. And given that these tokens are highly divisible, they can be fragmented and granularized, it makes it easier for participants to make small investments. For example, let's say someone wanted exposure to real estate. Using the legacy model, they'd be forced to pay huge sums of money to purchase the house. If that house was tokenized, small retail investors could buy small portions of the house. Moreover, since everything is published on the blockchain, there's an increased amount of trackability and transparency. Another added benefit of using a blockchain, especially using the same blockchain, is the increased amount of interoperability amongst the various protocols. So developers could build a platform by piecing together a handful of protocols and layering over their own rules. This could potentially lead to a surge in the number of platforms available out there. And if there's an increased amount of platforms out there, the consumers at the end of the day will benefit, because that typically leads to better quality products at a cheaper price since there's fierce competition. Lastly, if you're one of the first few participants, you can take full advantage of the subsidies provided by VC funding. Since this is still in the experimental phase, it'd be irresponsible for these developers to rely on liquidity from the retail masses. For this reason, VCs are providing most of the liquidity. So as an early participant, you could take full advantage of the subsidized rates. In fact, I've done so, and I'm going to show you guys in future videos how to exploit and leverage this opportunity to maximize your gains. Now that we've covered the advantages, let's go ahead and dive deep into the disadvantages. To begin with, there's no account recovery mechanism. If you're using a hardware wallet and you lose your private keys, you're finished. All your funds will be gone forever. And you can see this problem in full display with Bitcoin. Chain Analysis did some research and they found that there's an estimated 3.79 to 2.78 million Bitcoin that's permanently lost. More centralized blockchains like EOS have proposed native solutions, but today most of the DeFi apps are built on Ethereum. And currently, there isn't any recovery mechanism that exists for people using a hardware wallet. Secondly, a bug could be exploited. An attack vector could be found by a savvy hacker. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of the big MakerDAO hack. So because of this, there's always a chance that hackers or other malicious actors could find a backdoor into one of these smart contracts and steal your funds. And this is why I think all these applications need to be open source, because they need to be vetted by big firms and the community. I think in the long run, that greatly diminishes the chances of a bug surfacing and being exploited by malicious actors. Now, I mentioned in the intro that this technology is censorship resistant. However, more sophisticated investors may shy away from using any of these applications if the government or regulator deems them non-compliant. Many users around the world, and even here in the United States, use VPNs to gain access to platforms they otherwise would not be able to access. That may work for a handful of investors. Big money individuals, people who are more sophisticated, are unlikely to risk any of their money on platforms that haven't gotten the green light from all the regulators. And like with any new technology, a lot of the early adopters have to be technically savvy. So educational and technical barriers could prevent a lot of people from experimenting and taking full advantage of some of these platforms. I do believe a lot of the complexity will be abstracted away in future iterations. However, DeFi platforms in their current manifestation are going to be too difficult for most people to use. Moreover, because these platforms are new and experimental, there's no guarantee that their current model today is going to be viable forever. I mean, just take DAI for example. It's logarithmically tied to the value of the dollar. And I'm sure the guys behind the project put a lot of effort and thought into this, but there's no guarantee that it was going to work. In fact, I would even call it revolutionary. It's definitely innovative, but despite the success that they've had, there's no guarantee that it's going to work forever. And that especially applies to projects that are new. Lastly, even though they are mostly decentralized, there is a centralization component to some of these platforms, especially when it comes to DEXs. Because with some protocols, your funds are in your custody at all times, but during the point of execution, they actually have to go through the exchange. So for a short period of time, the exchange actually has custody of your funds before they reach the end target. But it does apply to some, which I'll be covering in subsequent videos. Here's an incomplete list of all the DeFi related platforms. These are platforms I'm familiar with, some of which I've used in the past. And in future videos, we're going to talk about these and many more platforms. This here is a pretty good starter kit. On the left here, we have loan and lending platforms where you can either get a loan using ETH as a collateral, or you could actually lend out ETH and other USD pegged stablecoins. Rather than going through each one of these websites to figure out what the loan and borrow rates are, you can actually use analytic tools provided by LoanScan and DeFi Pulse to find the best rates for you. I'm going to quickly show you guys how to use one of these platforms to start borrowing. I'm going to use DYDX to show you guys how to quickly get started. Let's say I wanted to borrow USDC against my ETH. I click start borrowing, and you notice no KYC. I didn't have to enter any of my personal information there. Go to the upper right hand corner of your screen. You can connect with any one of these wallets. So you can create a web-based one with MetaMask, Coinbase. You can use a hard wallet, the Ledger, or if it's not listed here, likely you'll have to click Wallet Connect. And let's say you have something like Pillar, which is a multi-sig wallet. You simply scan the QR code here, and that's all. You'll be ready to go. I recently did a transaction using my Pillar wallet, which is now connected, and you can see here that I've taken out a loan for $1,300 and I'm paying 6.09% interest on it. This here is a floating rate, so it could fluctuate up or down depending on market demand and supply. But let's say I wanted to borrow more USDC. I simply click here. I put the amount of USDC I want to borrow, and down here it'll populate the minimum amount of ETH needed to take $100 out. And again, this is not going to be an in-depth review, but I want you guys to look at this rate here. You see how it's 6.09? The more centralized platforms out there, most of them are offering 8% or more interest on your USDC. So if you were to take that USDC and lend it out on one of those platforms, you'd be getting some free cash there by engaging in arbitrage. In fact, I actually know a platform that's giving 10.3% interest right now that's paid out daily. And I'll disclose which platform that is in future videos. If you wanted to find out sooner, make sure you reach out to me on Twitter and I'll give you access to my Discord. It's a great forum for you guys to exchange ideas, and it makes it really easy for me to communicate to you guys and quickly respond to any of your guys' inquiries and provide more strategies like I provided you guys today. Moving along, if you go to this website here, DexWatch, that's dex.watch, you'll get a list of all the decentralized exchanges, their 24-hour activity, and their trading volume. Typically how it works is the higher the volume, the less slippage the exchange is going to have. And moving forward, I don't really expect slippage to be a problem because ZRX is currently working on solutions to pool liquidity. And this is great for all exchanges, but especially small exchanges, because now the developers can focus more on the user experience rather than marketing and adding liquidity. In this presentation, we're not going to talk too much about derivatives, but you have the option to trade derivatives products if you want. Before heading to the last segment of the video, let's revisit the analytics tool. I would definitely visit LoanScan before using one of these platforms because I think most people are either going to lend or they're going to borrow. You can use this tool to get the best earn rates, and you can use it to get the cheapest rates if you want to borrow funds. DeFi Pulse is another good resource. It actually has almost everything you need on one user interface. Lastly, we have DeFi Prime, and I think this website does a pretty good job of consolidating everything DeFi related. So they may not have everything, but they'll direct you to the website that does. For example, if you go here to the analytics page on the website, you can see here that they're redirecting you to numerous analytics tools that are provided by other websites. So again, make sure you guys check out all these websites and look at some of these wallets before you guys start experimenting. There's a lot of cool tools, information, and analytics to help streamline the whole learning process for you guys. So I came up with this really good idea. Originally, I was just going to give you guys a tutorial, use small transactions to show you guys how the platforms work. But I decided that I'm going to actually give you my address and allow you guys to track my performance. I'm going to fully fund this with my own money, but basically I'm going to take some funds. Not only am I going to give you a tutorial, but also if you click here on DeFi Portfolio, using the address that I provide you, all you need to do is copy and paste it into this box here. And by the way, guys, I bought a brand new ledger just to show you guys these tutorials because I could have used an old one, but Given what I told you guys earlier about a potential backdoor in a smart contract, there's a chance that somebody could actually get access to your private keys. So I decided to use a brand new wallet so that way the existing wallet I have won't be compromised. Whether you're new to DeFi or you need another ledger because you want to do the same thing, I'll include a link in the description box below so you guys can go out there and purchase a ledger. But anyway, coming back to what I was saying, if you guys just copy and paste that address that I've put in the description box below, you guys will have a full view of my total holdings in DeFi products. This way, not only will you guys get a tutorial, but you also get a way to track my overall performance with my portfolio. This way, you don't have to wait for me to publish a new video. You guys can access my entire portfolio and its performance using this tracker here provided by DeFi Portfolio. Now, I'm going to be able to take care of most of the funding on my own. In fact, I could probably take care of all of it. But let's say after this next bull run, your portfolio gets a little inflated and you guys want to help me subsidize the cost, you'll have an option to do that as well. And whether you guys donate or not, I strongly recommend that you guys join in the conversation. Before I make any moves, I do plan to discuss them with my Discord members, and I plan to be fully transparent. And this is made a lot easier using blockchain because everything is publicly recorded. So this way, everybody in the community can hold me accountable for all my actions. And if you're not interested in joining Discord and being part of the decision-making process, at least share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because I genuinely want to know what you guys are interested in. If there's a high demand for a certain topic or a certain project, it's very likely I'll prioritize that topic over other videos that I'm working on. And if any of that interests you, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell so you guys get alerted when I publish those videos, and smack that like button if you're excited about the DeFi videos that are going to be coming out in the next few weeks. With that being said, this is CryptoOneStop signing up. I'll talk to you folks next time.